Alrighty my guys, gals, and non-binary pals, welcome to my new testing world. Now, today's video is going to be a lot shorter than normal, and it's a redstone video, and that's because I would like to be getting a block sumo video out soon, but I just wanted to make a video about what I've recently made. So I guess I'll just show you guys. So to some people, this may look very confusing and very just like randomly placed blocks and stuff like that. But to me, this is like one of my greatest accomplishments in Minecraft, because I have managed to create my own design for a 3x3 piston door, and not only that, but I made it 1 block wide. So essentially the way you do this, like you can, if you were going to actually make this an actual piston door, you would wire the starting circuit through somewhere else, but for now, my starting circuit just starts with this button right here. But that is the closing of the piston door, and the opening of the piston door looks something like this. Let's get into the geekery. So essentially, the major part of the piston door is the middle block, because that's the most difficult one to get. And to get that, I have made a 2-block piston extender, and essentially that is what these two items are: the repeater and the observer, as well as this block. Actually, this block is very important in powering the double piston extender, and that's just really all you need. This block that it's pushing, the block that is that the observer is facing into, the repeater, the observer, and the 2 pistons. But if you go around the other direction, you can see that this button, when you press it, it would lead into this monostable circuit, and essentially what that means is that it would power through this block and activate this repeater, but also cause this piston to extend, which would cause the block to get out of the way so you can't power it anymore. So it makes a 1-tick pulse go through this circuit, and that would activate this piston, moving the redstone block either up or down. In this case, when I press the button next, it would move the redstone block down, which would deactivate this redstone dust, which would cause this redstone torch to activate, which would activate these 3 pistons, because redstone torch, block, redstone dust. It would activate these 3 pistons, and then the powering would just go through all of this, activating this piston, and then it would go down here, and it would activate these 3 pistons as well. So essentially, this part of the thing is like the easiest part, I would say. And all it does, what it does is it activates and it pushes in this block, that block, that block, that block, that block, and that block. The most difficult part would actually be these 2 middle blocks. So then, that's the easy part. The most difficult part is these 2 middle blocks. And like I showed you before, this is the double piston extender, which when you first press the button, it would, like if I were to press the button now, it would push that up into the center, and then you would activate all of these, so it looks something a little bit like this, but you're missing this part. This part is going to be, like, if you were just putting this part, okay, so it's missing this block. Now, how am I supposed to bring that block into the area? So what I've essentially done is that once this block extends into the middle, I've made it so that this button powers another monostable circuit on a 5-tick delay. So it would cause a 1-tick pulse to go through here, up on top of the redstone lamp, and it would power this block, which powers this piston, which would push the block there. And then, once this redstone lamp is activated, this observer notices it, and then it goes into a 2-tick delay, which would power this first piston, and since there's no block here, it wouldn't do anything for the second piston. So what it does, essentially, is it moves that piston up there, which would push that block there, and then it retracts this piston. In the end, it would look like that, with all of the pistons extended, of course. That was potentially the easier half of the 2 middle blocks. Because I'd say the most difficult part of this part, which is the most difficult of the entire door, is retracting these blocks. Because you see, you can't just go up and retract this block, because this one's in the way. So what you have to do first is you have to retract this block. So what happens on the retraction is, I'm just going to extend it all again. So what happens on the retraction is that this piston needs to take this block downwards. So it would do the double piston extension. However, once it does the double piston extension, this piston would be up here, and it's trying to extend to get this block. But this piston is already extended, and a piston cannot push an extended piston. So this piston is extended. So imagine that piston corresponds to this one up here. And then this piston corresponds to this one, which would be up there. And so you're trying to extend it, but it doesn't do anything. No matter how many times you flip the lever, no matter where you put it, if you put a redstone torch next to it, it doesn't do anything, because this piston's already extended, and you can't push an extended piston. And so, this doesn't do anything. But, on the second half, on the second half of the double piston extension, this piston activates a second time, which brings this piston down here, which would activate this one and pull this block down there. And then it causes this piston to retract again, because you go through the circuit one more time, and it causes this piston to retract again. And then the redstone lamp lights up, which causes this double piston to extend. And now, since there's no block in the way, it can activate fully and will retrieve this block, bringing it downwards like that. And of course, the rest of these blocks would also be retracted. So I'm just going to show it to you in full time. Alright, so here we are in survival mode, and I have made this area into what looks like a little room sort of thing. And so if we turn around, we see that this door is completely closed, and if I were to press this button, it opens up completely, and you can just walk through. Now, imagining there was another side over here, you could get to whatever base or whatever area you want to, but what really is the most important thing is that it looks so cool. It looks sick to have a 3x3 door that just completely goes away, even the middle block. And it's like, I think it looks so insane, and I'm extremely proud of this creation because I came up with, I made it all by myself, and I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I have a bit of an issue when it comes to redstone or farms or stuff like that. I have way too much pride, and I can't follow a tutorial. I have to make the thing myself. No matter how bad it is, I want to make it myself. And that's something an issue that I have, which made it really difficult when some of these things didn't work. But I'm super proud that this door worked, and it looks sick, and it's 1 block thick. But anyway, guys, that's the point of the video where I'm going to ask you to scroll down and tell me if you see a big red sub button. And if you do, I want you to click it. However, if you see a big gray sub button, like the stone button that's right next to me, then don't do anything because you're already subscribed, and that is perfect. Alright, guys, bye-bye. I almost forgot the most important part of being a redstoner, which is colored wool indicating different parts of the circuit. So I've changed that so you can see more easily what everything does. So yeah, I mean, if you want to take a look at this and see what it is, if you want to make this build in something, I'm fine with that. As long as, if you make it into a YouTube video, make sure to give me credit, and don't make a YouTube video only about this. And definitely don't claim this as your own, because I was the one who designed this one. But before I end this video off, I will give it one last button press. That's right, don't forget to subscribe, guys. Bye!